Hey guys, what's up? This is episode 138 of Rookie Hunter. Today on the show, I asked if I could come back and interview the guys. They're currently on a moose hunting trip. We did this just before they left. Missed being on here, so I thought, hey, I'll ask and see if they mind being interviewed, and they were into it. So we had a lot of fun. And yeah, I have some fun news to share, which you'll find out right at the beginning of the episode here. Before we get into things, don't forget our old friends at North Arm Knives. It's getting close to the holidays, believe it or not. Well, it's still a ways away, but you can never plan ahead too early, and I know those guys get slammed, so support them. We love those guys. They've been really good to us over many, many years of doing this show. NorthArmKnives.com. And of course, we've had the wonderful Wild Sheep Foundation on board with us for many years as well. Go become a member. It's important now more than ever, I think, to get involved with all of these amazing conservation organizations. WildSheepFoundation.org, and yeah, join us as members. Anyways, let's get into this episode. Sit back, relax, crack an ice cold beer, and enjoy episode 138.
Is any of this usable, Mike?
Probably not.
Are you recording?
I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm recording. Kelly, you're good.
No, I'm not.
I haven't yet.
Guys, what's happening?
Mr. Molnar.
Mike Peterson.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
I feel like this has been missing lately. Hold on. Oh, recognize that sound?
I recognize that can.
What's on tap, boys?
It looks like you got a can of Nectarus there, and I'm jealous.
Yeah, I'm on to my second Four Winds beer here.
Nice.
Nectarus, I think, is one of my favorites, man.
Yeah, I think it is too. It's a great summer beer too, but I mean,
yeah,
I drink one any time of the year.
Yeah.
Garrett, what do you got?
I'm going to go with vodka. Seems like the right flavor right now.
Yeah, right here, right now.
Right here, right now. How about you, Kelly? What are you drinking?
I've got a vitamin P Pilsner.
Oh, that Nectar's good.
It's nothing fancy, but it's cold and it hits the spot.
Man, I feel like fall is like Pilsner weather. You know what I mean?
I know. I like just the can looks like fall to me.
Four Winds is too fancy for fall.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't complain, but I mean, seeing that in your hands on this Zoom call, I'm like, I wouldn't mind trading you one of these vitamin Ps. I feel like I'd be getting the better end of the deal there.
I'm always a sucker for the label, so I just finished a different Four Winds beer before this one, and it's called Witticism. It's a wit beer with cantaloupe and honeydew. Is fucking really good, but more like summer beers. They kind of feel weird drinking them when they're cold, but.
What's the content on that one? Like, is it a 5 or it sounds like it'd be low
for alcohol?
Yeah.
4.5.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah. Usually wit beers, I think, are a bit more than that, aren't they? Or maybe not. I don't know.
Sounds good though.
Delicious.
What's new, Mike?
Lots, man. I guess the biggest thing is I got a new pooch.
Yeah, that's great.
Which, I mean, man, it was like a hard decision because I've missed having Oscar so much, and then you kind of go round in circles. Everybody does, I think, when you're considering a dog. Well, Garrett, you got 2 dogs, and it's like, do I have time for this? Like, is it the right time? But I mean, when is the right time? You know what I mean? At some point, you're just gonna have to do it. So I had looked at a few dogs. I actually found this cool. Can't even remember what he was. He was like a mixed breed. He was about 4 years old, and he was deaf. It was a super cool dog. And but I was going to Alberta for a wedding and stuff, and like the timing just didn't work out. Mm-hmm. So I kind of stopped looking for a little bit there, and I've been looking at the BCSPCA website all the time because for some reason I thought that you weren't able to put dogs on like Castanet, which is like Kelowna's Kijiji type thing. I thought you can do that anymore, but apparently you can. And just by chance one night, I'm like, oh, I should look on there and see what there is for pet stuff. And sure enough, you can still find puppies and dogs and stuff on there.
Were you thinking you couldn't they are stopping that to avoid like puppy mills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And maybe there is like some rules in place to stop that on there. But anyways, I had no idea that you could still do that.
Right.
And so just by chance, I decided to look on there. And there was a 10-month-old Weimaraner that a family was giving up. And of course, I'm like, fuck, it's a Weimaraner, same breed as Oscar. I mean, I know the breed. I understand why the family was giving up. They didn't have time for him. They had 3 kids, super busy schedule and stuff like that. And the dog just wasn't getting enough attention.
Mm-hmm.
So went and met him a couple weeks ago and met the family and gave them an opportunity to meet me and Zoe. And I don't know, but we left and just said, we'll think about it for the next couple of days and the family can think about it for the next couple of days. And I just decided that he seemed like a pretty chill dog, and the age is a good time, I think, as far as like he's house trained and like he's not like a little tiny puppy that's like pissing all over and like, like wreaking havoc on the house. So it seemed like a good fit and decided to do it. And the family decided I was a good fit for him. And now I've got a dog. I've had him, just like, what's today, Wednesday? A week and a day I've had him now. So he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, man. I mean, as far as finding a match for a dog, especially a Weimaraner, I knew that it would be a pretty big mess if they didn't choose you, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the breed and you're super active, and Oscar he was out there hiking every day. Like I don't know a luckier dog. So yeah, I was happy to hear that you guys got a dog. I can't picture you without one, but I mean, I know that the timing still has to be right too. But it's good.
I mean, it's a definitely like a wake up call because I'm living on my own here, and you forget how much, even though he looks like a full grown dog, he's only 4 pounds lighter than Oscar was full grown.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be big, but you forget how much attention they need, man. And like, you got to be on them, and they're chewing on shit and like just all over everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this guy hasn't had any training at all. So he's picking things up. Like he's a great dog. So I'm pretty lucky, but he definitely needs a lot of time and energy, and I have to get used to that. So anyways, it's fun, man. I think it's what I needed, was something to keep my mind busy and have another dog in the house. It's totally nice.
Yeah.
He's pretty quiet without him. Yeah.
You're in that first 2 years phase that is trying.
With a Weimaraner. What the fuck was I thinking?
Well, you can burn the energy off of them if anyone can.
Yeah, we've already been out trail running and stuff, so it's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you gone like any, anything remote or, somewhat remote hike wise? And have you seen any animals or anything?
Well, I trail run not far from my house. I think you know where the dog park is that I go to, just north of my place. Not to the actual dog park, but there's trails up behind it. So we've been going up there every day.
Okay. So not remote, it's more in town basically.
Well, it's like, it feels very remote when you're up there.
Yep.
And there's deer, and that's where I ran into that cougar last year and stuff. And there's coyotes up there. So there's lots of wildlife up there. And part of that is actually parkland. So it's a cool spot, but I can tell he definitely has like a prey drive. Like he saw some doves up there and right away stopped, and he did like the pointer thing, like lifted up his front paw and was like into him and kind of chasing after him. So you can tell he's I mean, it's bred into him, which is really cool to kind of see that, you know what I mean? It's interesting.
Totally.
But yeah, he's been off the leash for all that stuff and doing really well.
Awesome. That's a cool breed.
Yeah.
It's nice to
see. Unique. Yeah.
Yeah. Garrett, how are your pups doing?
Oh, they're doing pretty good. I don't know, something was out and about today. They went a little bit batshit crazy there. Had to get them back. It's usually the story with hounds, but kind of listening to Mike there. You guys ever heard anything about overworking the dog when they're young? Is that a thing? Can you overwork them? I mean, I'm sure you could, but is it like depending on the breed?
Man, like you mean just like mentally overworking them, or like physically?
Yeah, or even just physically too. Like,
I think like I know I have to be careful with him because he's only 10 months, and like again, it's weird because he looks like a full grown dog, but there's still like everything's still developing, right? So you got to be careful with their joints and stuff while they're still growing. So I'm trying not to overdo it with them. And I'm booked to go into the vet this week, and I'm gonna ask her what is like a good time to actually like really start going hard with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think the risk is like arthritis and hip problems and shit like that if you overdo it when they're young.
Gotcha.
Later in life, yeah.
Yeah. I know when I first got the hounds, I was all excited because I was like, all right, I got hounds. So let's do this. Let's get after it. And then I kind of got, well, maybe I should because they were still pups, right? So I had to pull the throttle back there a bit. I know one day I came home and the dogs just kind of hit the lawn and flopped over. And they didn't want to get up. And I was like, that's not really normal for a hound. So maybe it might be going a little too hard here. So I'll slow down a bit. But it's good, like you're saying, you know the breed, you know the dog. It's exactly what mates up with your lifestyle, which is, I mean, your research is already done.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I'm sure you too, Kelly, with Norris. Yeah. I mean, it fits.
Norris is a house dog. I'm not going to kid myself. He's a house family dog as far as I'm concerned, but he's a good family dog for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't really do a lot with him, like, you know, as far as outdoorsy things, to be honest. I mean, part of that's on me, and us, but I think, you know, he's
got a record.
He's got a record. Mike, no, actually, I mean, it's recorded. I mean, you go back enough episodes and you can hear him literally falling through the tent. And that was only a couple hours before he launched off his cliff and injured himself. And, you know, there's been tons of stuff since then. So you know, some dogs you just can't, you know, they just, you just can't build that trust with them like off leash, and he's still a disaster off leash, man. Like, you know, and then, you know, with James and everything, it's just, you know, you could probably put some time and commitment into that, but yeah, he's a little house dog.
Garrett, do you have insurance for your hounds?
You know what? I thought about that kind of, and I said, the hell with it.
Yeah.
Because the same with the horse. They're like, hey, you want insurance? The horses? I go,
yeah,
nah, not really. No.
That's what I did with Norris, and then he leapfrogged off a cliff, and I wish I had it in that moment. But
yeah, I guess you can never.
Yeah,
you never know what's going to happen, right? So,
yeah. But I mean,
especially if you put a lot of work into your dogs or your any pet, right?
Totally. But I mean, that's pretty. I mean, I grew up with dogs too. I mean, the reason I didn't get it is because we never had any issues. So I mean,
and that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah. But I mean, luck of the draw, I guess. I don't think it's super common.
Yeah. I was thinking about like Oscar, and like had I bought insurance for his whole life, it would have been way more expensive than what his vet bills were. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Totally. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
especially with two dogs, it gets expensive.
And look how long Oscar lived for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That insurance is expensive, man. It's crazy.
I would have.
Oh, it is.
I would have blown through it in the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But that's rare though, right,
yeah,
Kelly?
Exactly.
Like that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's rare, I guess it's just a measure of like, you know, if you are one of the rare cases, you bite the bullet on it, and if you can do that, fine. But there's going to be a large percentage that are, you know, they don't have to, they're not one of those rare cases, and then they save that money. So if we did it again, I'd probably do it the same way, to be honest.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah.
It just, I got a bit of a shitty hand there. No offense, Norris.
So you guys took that plate. It's out now, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Norris, you had the plates and the screws in, and then, well, what happened? What the idea is that they were supposed to be in there for the rest of his life, but then he ended up with a localized infection in those hardware, and we had to redo the surgery, or, you know, it's a little easier because it's more just removing. But we had to redo it, and now he's fine again.
Nice.
So,
That's
I mean,
good.
it's good. and he's doing fine, and the bones are strong, and he rips around, and we actually haven't had any issues since. So it was kind of like a 3-year saga, and it's been really good to see him just be a normal dog finally. So, but with that said, I mean, that was a lot of every recovery time. The first one was like 9 months. I was carrying him up the stairs for 7 months.
Holy.
And then the second one was a little easier just because it was more removal as opposed to full-blown fusion. But yeah, man, it's just not something I'd want to go through more than once.
Yeah, man.
So definitely got to be careful with them and kind of know where they're at and know what your trust level is with them, and try to, I guess not be over careful, but just, I guess, respect the surroundings and try to do your best, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I had some hurdles to overcome with the hounds too. They did some weird shit on me, especially with that drought. And you worry and you get concerned. Like they weren't eating food or anything, and I thought they were all messed up, and started calling vets and asking around. But it was just because it was so hot, they didn't want to eat.
The horses, Garrett, or the hounds?
The hounds. Oh. So yeah, I mean, it's always something. I'm sure you know that too, Mike, with pets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the horses. I mean, when I got the horses, they had like the worst case of thrush ever for like half a year straight. I was packing that goo into their hooves every day.
How's it now?
Unreal.
Good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, because we hadn't actually closed that loop on the podcast, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, they come a long ways, man. But I'm always on top of it. Like I've learned from it, and I'm always looking at it. So I'm always like, I think I'm more going out there going, fuck, there better not be thrush in here. You know what I mean? Like picking their hooves up every day and cleaning them out and making sure like everything's where it's supposed to be.
Right.
That's good.
Well, Mike, it's good to have you on the podcast today. I'm sure listeners will be happy to hear you too. So,
yeah, man, it's nice to be back on here for sure.
Yeah. You're welcome anytime. If you want to, anytime, because we're all hunting partners, and I would like to get you out more too, but maybe I'll come too.
Yeah.
We've got a hunt coming up. Garrett and I are packing for tomorrow, actually. So got lots of things to do this evening still.
Yeah, well, I'm going to take over then. So I think, did you guys touch on it in the last one, or you've kind of just breezed over a little bit? What have you got planned for the next bit here?
We have touched on it a little bit in the podcast, but maybe we could just give a quick summary.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go for 6 nights, and then this one's going to be wall tent hunt. Kelly's going to bring his camper.
Luxury compared to our previous.
It's going to be luxury, yeah. But I know, like, we're going to have, you guys are going to have your ATVs too. So it's going to be one of those hunts. It's going to be a little more relaxed. But the guy that we're going hunting with, my father-in-law, he has a limited entry moose draw. So we're going to be going after that. That's going to be the big one. Because if we get that, then we're laughing.
Yeah, fill the freezer.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about this too is that, your father-in-law has a tag, and then your old man's going to be there, and mine too. So, and my dad hasn't done a ton of hunting. He has got out quite a bit this year with my father-in-law and some other folks, but I haven't really done a multi-day trip with him before. He's a rookie as of like last year, as we talked about on the podcast. So, I'm looking forward. Like, from my perspective, it's going to be really fun to do that too. Right? It's just hanging out, and it's you and me and the older crew, and we'll just have fun.
Absolutely. Like, it's not like when I say relax, like, we'll still have to, nothing's a guarantee. I'm not saying that we're going up there. We'll still work for it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, you know what I mean? But having, like you said, that part of it, having the dads and that atmosphere is going to be, it's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah, totally.
So we did the wall tent setup. Geez, how many years ago was that?
It was like 2016, 17 maybe.
It's a bit of a process, but a process that I think is worth it, because it's like nothing better than coming back to that, man. It's like luxury, when you compare that to sleeping in a teepee tent or in the Hillebergs or whatever. But Garrett, you've got like a really good approach to kind of like setting up the camp, and you kind of did a good job of like taking the lead on setting everything up. And I mean, like everything had like a really good flow to it. So like for anyone who maybe hasn't like done the wall tent setup, but is interested in getting one, like what's your approach to like having a really solid camp?
Like I always try to start out, like I try to envision where do you start? Like who are you hunting with? How many people are you hunting with? You know what I mean? If you're hunting with the person that's kind of doesn't want to, he just wants to roll up, well, you probably don't want to set up a wall tent. It's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
But let's say you have a group like ours, like everybody's just out there helping out and they, you know what I mean? They want everything to run smooth, like you said. So just start from the ground. Like, what do you need? Let's go for size. What size do you need? And then I just start from there, and then you start piecing it together. And like you're saying, you're trying to keep everything as streamlined as possible. You don't want a pile of shit, right? Because then it takes up space, and then you got to orchestrate everybody who does what, and then you got to have everything lined up. Because that's the other thing. Everybody just has pickup trucks, right? You run out of room pretty quick.
Yeah.
In the back of a truck, especially, and then you got to think if you shoot an animal. It's a good thing we went on that hunt. We had all those trucks there.
Yeah.
You imagine where we had to pack all that meat if we were all drag it behind the truck. So then, yeah, like I would start with the tent. Then you got to protect the tent. You got to get a good tarp, right? And then you got to think about what time of the year you're hunting. So whether or not you need a stove or not. And then, I mean, you can get as detailed as you want, like as if you want to put cots in there, or if you're just putting like those roll down canvas sleep beds. I don't know if you guys seen those before. I think the company's called Canvas Cutter. They make them. You just roll it down, put your sleep bag inside. And then you can get as crazy as you want. Like you can trick the thing right out as you know, as you name it. You can put anything in there, but it's just a different way of hunting, I guess. Yeah, whatever you're into.
Like I don't remember like what time we got, but obviously there's like travel involved, and for you guys, you're not going too far. Like Kelly's got a bit of a drive, obviously, but like, are you dedicating that first day to like getting camp set up, getting firewood, kind of like the same thing we did for the elk hunt?
Totally, 100%. And you know what? That firewood thing, I always heard about people getting fines for not having a permit and cutting firewood. So I looked into this whole thing because I wanted to see if what was, you know what I mean? What was going on there. And I found out where you can go on the BC government website and the form's there. So I called in, I said, hey, what do I got to do? She's like, all you got to do is print it off and sign it. It's basically that you're acknowledging that you've read all the rules and you understand them. And then there's a map involved that shows you where you can and you can't cut firewood and all the rules along with it. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Then we printed it out, we signed it. So that's something there that you know what I mean? You don't really know about, right?
Yeah.
You just, some people would, I mean, I did. I mean, I never did this, but I just assumed like you go down a logging road, you cut a tree down. That, I know it has to be a dead standing tree, right? Yeah. So again, yeah, that day is whole dedicated to setting camp up, cutting firewood.
Yeah. Do you have to pay for that permit, or is it free? You just have to print it off?
Free.
Yeah.
Just print it off.
So it's like similar to like a Christmas tree permit where you just like sign the fucking thing and bring it with you, and you have to cut something down within, either it has to be along a power line or within a certain distance of a logging road, and you're good to go basically.
Totally. So. Yeah. And I think there's stuff in there like you can't drag it out of the woods or anything like that. You can't use like skid it out, or I don't have a skidder, so you know what I mean? You get the idea, right? You can't rip up the ground pulling the lumber out. So.
Right. Can't pull a Griswold.
Yeah. Which reminds me. So when we did that, I feel like we like, I mean, with your...
I think I know where you're going with this.
Direction, Garrett, we got the wall tent set up fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And then, so we decided to split up. You and I went to get firewood. Kelly and Kevin stayed behind, and it started raining like crazy. So Kelly, you and Kev were like digging trenches, which was like one of those things you don't think about, right? Because we were at the bottom of a hill. We had this nice flat area, but all the water started running. So you guys like dug out this perfect little trench system to keep the water away from the camp. But Garrett and I went up and got wood. Garrett, do you want to talk? I think this story has gotten out there, but we had some fun chopping a tree down anyway. And let's just say you got airborne.
Man, you got to have some skills cutting tree, and I will admit I do not have skills cutting trees. And I dodged a bullet there hard. That scared the shit out of me, man.
It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Let's talk about it because people obviously need to be careful. But we're
totally you got to be careful. 100%.
We're looking for a standing dead tree, and we found one right off the side of the logging road.
Oh, and it was a beauty too.
I'm trying to remember what happened, but you cut into it. It kind of fell, and then it got caught up on some other trees. Right? Is that what happened?
Yeah, it kind of had like a weird. It kind of had like a weird curve to it to the top. I was like, oh, I got this, no problem, which is probably my first mistake. That should be the red light going off instantly in my head. Anything mechanical. Yeah, you're right. And we're like, oh, look at this guy here. This is great right next to the road. It's probably why nobody else fucking cut the thing.
But yeah, so anyways, I can't remember exactly what happened, but it got hung up. You started cutting into it again, and it started falling. And then everything looked good. It was going down, but then the back end kind of slid backwards and then kicked up, and you were right next to it, and it launched you like 20 feet in the air, man.
Like catapulted me.
Yeah. And I remember just like kind of like my eyes were probably like fucking size of dinner's plates, man, because I thought for sure you were injured. But as soon as you like got up and looked at me, we both just started laughing, man.
Oh,
because
man.
It was one of those situations where you definitely could have just got killed by that tree, man.
Totally.
Yeah.
We just kind of stood there for a minute, and they're like, okay, I guess it's time to cut firewood.
But
not like,
oh
man.
That's scary, man.
So yeah, be careful, man. I mean, yeah, anything, even for someone who's experienced, like messing with trees can be pretty dangerous. So
super dangerous. A takeaway from that, pick the smallest snag you can find, not some huge monstrosity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but and then the shovel thing, like you were talking about, like where do you start? Shovels is a great idea when you got wall tents, because I've talked to this before. Like I brought those shovels because usually the ground freezes and you can't get the pegs out.
Right.
I had no idea that we'd be dealing with a monsoon.
Yeah, and luckily that happened on the first day when we were there too.
Yeah.
I mean, if it happened when we were out hunting and we came back, the whole fucking thing would have been flooded and
our beds and everything would have floated away.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was a downpour. We had horrible weather that whole trip, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the last day. It was the evening that you shot the elk, Garrett. The skies parted, and then the next day was like an amazing morning with like a little frost and like mist coming up and sun shining and glistening off the frost on the antlers that were hanging out of the back of the truck. Like just everything. It just felt like that was the story that was meant to be written there for that entire trip. But the chances of that happening just feel incredibly slim. So I still think about that. I'm like, how the hell did that even work out? Like, if we did that trip 100 times over again, I don't think it'd ever happen that way.
I don't think so. I think that's kind of true for a lot of trips, though. Like, first of all, you got to pick an area where you know the animals you're pursuing live in. And then, I mean, you can never predict weather, right? Yeah. Especially when you get in the mountains like that. It changes all the time.
There's so many factors. And even who you bring and how it because I remember there's a picture of us all in the tent looking at maps. And this is after like 5-6 days of just like disappointment, right?
Yeah.
Getting our asses kicked.
Yeah. And we're just like, what are we going to do here? So I remember we were in the tent, we got headlamps on, we're looking at maps, we're looking at roads, and we're like, hey, where are we going to go here? I mean, and you could choose anything. I mean, there's hundreds of choices, but as a group, we came together and said, let's do this. And sure enough, that's what happened that day. So
yeah,
it's just, it's amazing when you think of how many factors go into it. And, you know, I guess you can call it luck, you know.
But you know, the other thing we didn't do is we didn't go to the exact same spot every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, look how much country we covered.
Tons.
We put some kilometers on.
Oh, yeah.
So you're bound to turn up something. That's the other takeaway too. We didn't just kept going right back to the same old clear cut.
Yeah.
Get up early, go to the clear cut, nothing here, go back for lunch, go straight back there.
Yeah.
We did that for 6 days.
Yeah.
I mean, that might work. I'm not saying that won't, but
if you know there's animals there, I guess. But
if you know there's animals, yeah, but we didn't do that. We went everywhere.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I guess another one too, if your wall tent, if you're going with somebody who snores a lot, you might want to bring some earplugs.
I forgot about that. Well, I think you already, actually, before we jump into something else, Garrett, anything else you want to add to the camp setup for this, like specific to wall tents for anybody who's thinking about getting into it?
I mean, it is an investment. If you've done enough research, try to see if there's a second-hand one out there. Like, there's always guys that are getting older on in their age and they don't want to go through the whole setup procedure. Like, it's a lot of work, and they're getting rid of them. You can actually get some decent wall tents for, but I mean, if you are committed and you want to make an investment and you look after it, they're going to last you a long time. So if that's, if anything I can put, they do last a long time if you take care of them.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and I've got a bit of a drive to get there, but my goal is to kind of, get there when Garrett gets there, help out with the overall camp. I mean, from a camper perspective, you basically roll on site and you put the stairs down.
Yeah.
So there's not much on that front, but the more that you can get hands on those tents and lift and, get pipes all set up in the frame and all that, I think it's helps out. Throwing tarps over it and throwing the floors down, it can be a big job.
Yeah, you're right. You should have kind of one guy who is orchestrating it and one guy who knows how he wants his camp set up.
Yep.
Not to be a dick.
No,
you need direction, man.
Yeah.
You need direction.
You can't have everybody trying to be nice to each other, because then it's just going to take twice as long and it won't end up being functional. So yeah, we appreciate it when you do that, because it's your tent. You know how you want it set up.
Totally, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no problem. I love doing it. And having the wood fire is, I mean, when you're late season hunting, having that wood fire is unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Having the hot water on the side too, like to do dishes and clean up. And it's just it's game changer.
I mean, like you guys said, after a rough day of shit weather and you come back and you get that fire going, it just makes the booze taste all the better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of a bummer. I'm like, you guys invited me to come along and I was thinking about coming, but the dog has kind of changed things for me. And who knows, I might show up last minute and surprise you guys on this hunt. But it's disappointing because it's like, this is a different hunt. I mean, like, obviously with the three of us have kind of like had this tradition every year where we go hunting. And that's one of the main reasons why we do it. But this one's cool because Kelly, like, your dad is coming for the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've been saying it for a long time, like hinting through the podcast for Wayne to get his hunting license, and he's finally got it and he's joining you guys, which is pretty cool, man. So I think just like acknowledging how important having like a ritual or something that you do every year that brings family together. Who gives a fuck what happens if you get a deer or a moose or if you get anything, man? It doesn't really matter. It's like the importance of like bringing family and friends and stuff together every year is pretty cool, and it's awesome that your dad's coming this year, man.
Yeah, totally. It's I mean, that's the big highlight for me on this one is nowadays I kind of go into these hunts with low expectations mentally, just for in terms of like if we're going to get something on the ground.
Yeah,
because after doing this for so long, it's really hard to get something on the ground. And like, depending on where you're at and what the situation is in terms of game and all that, the percentages are they can be very low. So, it's less about that for me at this stage. And we haven't been doing it for like our whole lives or anything, but I feel like we've kind of progressed through that progression pretty quick. So for me, it's more about, hanging out and camaraderie and adventure and, and hanging out with family is kind of making it even better. So yeah, just new experiences. I mean, it's like I said, it's just it's one activity that we did a lot of activities, but hunting was not something that we did growing up. It was more sports related, like skiing and all that kind of stuff. So this is just like a whole other new thing, right? That we're both kind of learning, and I've been doing it for 6-7 years now. So I get to kind of, flip the table a little bit and teach him a couple of things. So it's kind of cool from that perspective. But yeah, man, that's really cool aspect to it. I'd love to be able to bring James out too, but he's only 2. Garrett, I know your kids are getting older now. I mean, maybe you're a lot closer than I am, but it'll be cool once we get to that stage, right? Is to kind of, bring our kids out and have these big camps and let them kind of explore, right? I mean, that'll be a whole new ball game.
Yeah, I mean, what better way to spend the time in the outdoors than, like you said, bringing everyone together? I mean, that's the highlight for me too. My dad, my father-in-law, your dad.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike, if you can come too, it'd be awesome.
Totally.
But yeah, like like all the dinners that we've planned too for this.
Yep.
That we have some unreal meals.
Man, so that's my next question is like, you guys have always had, like, I know you, like, this goes back with like my dad and your dad. There's like a camp etiquette and like an understanding of what everybody's going to contribute to this type of camp setup. Because when we go on our backpacking trips, we're kind of all just like planning our own meals, right? It's kind of like every man for himself. It's not every man for himself, but you know what I mean? You're just kind of just like planning
pretty much
things the way that, yeah, exactly. Right. So what's the etiquette for meals and stuff? And what have you guys got planned? Are you going to do breakfast, come back for lunch, and then do dinner at night? Or are you going to have like a mixture of like, some backpacking meals that you're going to bring with you while you're out during the day? Or like, what's the setup for that?
I can speak to it a little bit. And I'll kick it over to you, Garrett, because I think your family and you hunting with your dad and stuff really kind of set the tone for this, in my opinion. But what I do is I'm definitely going to bring some bags of pre-made backpacking meals, because regardless of what happens, I like to throw lunch in my backpack. And just given the type of camp we have, I may make less of it here and I may make some of it there, Right. So, but at the end of the day, I'm going to have some bags made up that I can throw in my pack. Breakfast, I'm not a huge breakfast guy on hunts, but I try to eat something. I tend to like go light on the breakfast and just pack a big lunch. So like, I'll eat a bar and a bunch of snacks at 9 or something.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of similar on that front. But and then dinner, we're all going to bring a night, right? So we're there for 6 nights. How many guys we have, Garrett? 5.
5 guys. Well, and then if Mike shows up,
and maybe 6. So it kind of works out on that front, because we're basically like a person a night, and then that each one of those people would bring dinner for that night. So we got one guy with chili, we got another guy with lasagna, we got another guy with like a chicken casserole, and
these are heavy meals.
These are all hearty. these are hearty meals. So we gotta do some hiking, Garrett.
Yeah,
I know. I just bought 8 pizzas.
Yeah. So this is the kind of hunt where, like, when we went up north the first time, I lost a pound a day, and I feel like with this one I'm gonna gain a pound a day. But yeah, we eat like kings out there on a hunt like this, and there's pros and cons to each type of hunt, and that's one of the pros to this kind of hunt. Is
Absolutely,
it's
man.
A lot of fun. You can bring your bourbon, you can bring your beers, you can bring some good meals, and that's what I like about it. Oh, Garrett, you guys have a good tradition too on the steak nights. Everybody brings their own steak.
Yeah, we do a steak night. So you pick your cut of steak, and then we'll do Caesar salad. That actually, do you want me to bring some potatoes out of the garden? I think I should.
Oh, if you got, yeah. I got it. Yeah. I'm bringing a couple bags of pierogies too, because I saw them there. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to bring a big pot, and then I'm going to bring these pierogies. You know what good. I found though is, like, with most of these meals, if it's not chili or pasta, all the other ones tend to have potatoes with them. So,
oh yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, which is good. I just thought, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I bring some pierogies just in case we want to switch. It's still potatoes, but it's a little different.
Yeah, I know. Like as we're talking, I'm constantly going through my checklist of like, that's like one of the things today. Like I had to go through the camp, make sure I had the checklist set for camp materials, and then I switch over to food. Mm-hmm. So when I leave the house, I know what I'm missing. I know I have to get, and then like the food, it's like I feel like I brought in like a bomb shelter worth of food.
Don't you feel like I don't know about you guys, but I feel like packing gear is really fun. I love doing that. But once I get to food, it stresses me out. Like It stresses me out right to the point where I'm leaving town. Because I always feel like I'm either, it's heavy. I feel like I either got too much or not enough. Like it's right to the last minute. I never feel like I'm pre-cooked for food, and some of it's got to be cold and frozen, right? So like the morning of, you still got to remember to transfer all this stuff to a cooler. Like the food part stresses me out more than anything.
I'm the same way.
I think that's why we all end up with way too much food.
I would rather have way too much food though.
Yeah.
Even those like the backpack hunts we did, I always went on the side of like when all three of us went up north, and then Mike, when we went up, like I remember we were like, what happens if the plane doesn't come? And then we bought like Smokies and all that.
Yeah. And we left some stuff at the lake where we landed too and hung them up in the tree.
You gotta shoot a pack rat or something.
Yeah.
And those Smokies sure did taste good.
Oh, fuck, did they ever, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Coors Banquet and the chips.
Nice. I think we like cooked it over like just the flame off of your stove, didn't we?
I think so.
We didn't bother building a fire because we're so tired.
Yeah. And everything was so wet and yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so everybody takes a meal for the night. And then depending on your crew, this crew here, we had a meeting, which is always good because you figure out who's doing what. This is back to your question, Mike. Then you kind of just say, well, everybody likes to do their own thing in the morning because morning's kind of, you're waking up. So you deal with your own breakfast. And then lunch is kind of, you deal your own lunch. And then I think there's going to be we're not certain on what day it is, but there'll be a day there where we kind of all will get together and then cook a bunch of sausages and stuff. And then I got a bunch of eggs here. I got from the chickens here. We can do cook up a big breakfast kind of lunch thing, right? On the skillet.
Sweet.
Kelly's bringing his Camp Chef too.
Yeah. We got 2 Camp Chefs. You know the Camp Chefs with the double burners?
Yeah.
So I've got one too. So we're going to bring both. And then we each have a griddle and a barbecue box. So we'll put 2 griddles on one and 2 barbecue boxes on the other one.
That's awesome.
Be like Master Chef out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be no shortage of food. The water scenario, though, that's another thing. Like, I'm packing in bottles of water.
Yeah, I got bottles too, and a couple of those big blue tanks or whatever.
Oh yeah, smart.
What are your guys' backpacks looking like? Because obviously you can go a bit lighter because you don't have to have camp on you all the time and all that kind of shit. So there's an advantage with that. Do like a pack dump and just go through what you guys are going to bring out each day.
Yeah, okay, I'll go. So I'm going to be running my Kafaru again, the muskeg. And when I bought the muskeg, I just bought the biggest pack they have, the 75. I think it's a 70 or maybe it's a 7,000.
Go big or
I'm not
go
sure.
home.
Go big or go home. And then I just compress it down. I bought the extra straps so I can have I can take the pack right off, and then if I have to put meat on the back, I can just strap it on. And then all I do is
sorry, I'm just thinking of the goat hunt.
Oh man. Fuck, my legs still hurt from that.
No, just when you were like completely dehydrated and didn't eat enough food and you're trying to put that thing back together.
Oh, I couldn't figure out anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
full stupid.
Continue.
I miss that. I kind of wish those hunts would have lined up on different years because I would have liked to be a part of that one, but I would like to see some of these things in real life. But
oh man, that was good. That was gold.
I totally forgot about that.
I'm all packed up, ready to go. Garrett's flipping his back around like a million different directions, and like I don't know what you were doing, man. Like you just were totally fucking dehydrated and like not thinking straight, and you're like, I'm gonna throw this fucking back down the mountain.
That's a good lesson though. I mean, for everybody, right, is like you kind of hit that bump, or what do they call that when you hit the wall?
Yeah, well,
calories wise.
Oh, I hit the wall. All right. We got up there was no water, and I was like trying not to. I thought I packed enough water up there.
Yeah.
And I was running low, and I like ran out. I was burnt out, and we were like up crazy high on the mountain.
Yeah.
And I started getting delirious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy how your brain stops working. Anyway, sorry, man, I derailed you there, laughing at you, but continue.
Yeah, and then I just bring like water, your headlamp, that sort of thing, right? A kill kit, that's what they call it, right? You got your knife and then obviously binoculars, tags, and all that stuff, right? Then I usually bring a tripod for my camera to take pictures, right? I always pack a water bladder. I don't know if you guys are into that. I always do. After that ordeal, I always make sure I have more than enough water.
Yeah.
But I don't bring anything like a water purifier or any like stuff like that. Like I'm not heating up food, so I'm not bringing my stove or anything. It's pretty lightweight.
Kelly, are you going to bring a stove?
Yeah, I'll have my camp stove on me. I don't know. I just like to have the option to heat some water up, and I usually bring just an emergency like mountain house or something. I'll either have it in my pack or in my ATV or something.
Yeah. Coffee or tea, like that's a big boost sometimes when it's cold and shitty out. So if one person has one, that's all you need.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's like a majorly, like this is one thing I feel like, Mike, you were always good at that, is kind of, what do you not think you need in the moment, but when you're out there that it's a luxury, but you're a really needed one. So maybe it's not a luxury, I guess. Maybe it's a necessity, but a hot coffee or a tea in some of those situations. I remember up north, we had a couple. I mean, that kind of like brightens up your whole day, especially if the weather's bad, right? Like you kind of,
man.
I think you got to plan for that for sure.
Yeah.
So totally. I think my pack is pretty similar. I mean, the top of my pack, I always have the same, like, it doesn't matter what the hunt is. I always have the same stuff. The organizer that I have with the permits and the tags and all the key stuff I have in a little organizer. And then, I throw gloves and headlamp and like all the essentials in there, water filter, all that stuff. It goes like day hunt, long hunt. It doesn't matter. It's always the same.
Yeah.
And then like body of pack, rain gear, every hunt.
Yeah.
This is going to be mid-late hunt. So it's going to be cold. I know that much. So I'm actually going to go with the down. I'm going to bring the down hoodie for this, partly because I'm going to have the ATV. So, when you're moving on that thing, it's freezing. So that's one reason. And the other reason is like, I don't think I'm going to be complaining and have that thing in there. So I'll probably leave the synthetics back. I find the down packs pretty small too, right? Like you can compress them down. It doesn't hurt the down or anything. So I'm going to go with that. And then, kill kit and bags. That's pretty much it. I mean, other than throwing some food in there for the day, you can go pretty, spotter or tripod. I'll probably bring some of that just to see. I don't really know exactly what the terrain's going to be like in a lot of these spots. So, but I assume that having a spotter on hand is going to be, I think in most cases you want to have it on hand. There's rare cases where you can't really use it. But we have been in hunts like that where it's like, I don't even know why I'm carrying this thing because I can't see like more than 100 yards. But I think with this, we're probably going to be able to get up high in a lot of cases. So I'm definitely going to be packing that. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's pretty light, man. It's not anything like those northern hunts where we had 50, 60 pounds on our backs.
Yeah, at least, man. It's ridiculous sometimes.
Because you're packing like 12 days of food.
Yeah.
The one thing I always bring too is a sill tarp. Like just, you need to have some way to hunker down if the weather gets super bad. Doesn't matter if you're on your feet or an ATV or whatever, but like if it gets real bad, you want to be able to set up and sit down and wait it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
I love having something like that too, where you can like lay it down. And if you get an animal, you can kind of like organize all your shit on top of it too. And like, because you got to empty out your pack, right? So you can kind of organize everything on top of that, and it's not in the grass or in the dirt or whatever, and you can keep everything clean. And I know Garrett and I used that a lot when we were up north there, just even like drying stuff out, or it just was like so helpful to have something to like put all your stuff on, you know what I mean? And yeah, when you're packing up, same thing, man. You can just like empty out the tent, throw everything on that sill tarp or whatever you got. Like a Garrett, I think you got a bunch of like footprints from tents that they were offloading from.
From like Val. That's right. Yeah, Valhalla. Now that you guys mentioned that, I'll grab those. I wasn't even gonna bring them. Yeah.
And they fold up super small, man. And it's they have a million different uses. And we were using those in the vestibule, in the Hillebergs too, to lay out all of our shit. So they have
I gotta find those.
Yeah, a lot of uses for it, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. The other thing with this hunt, having the ATV, my plan for that is, there may be some days where we try to cover ground and do some scouting more so, but there's going to be other days where I want to kind of drive to a spot and hike from there.
Yeah.
And, that'll be really handy. But with that, there's the box on the back, right? So you can put more stuff in there. Like you can put an emergency mountain house. You can put your Wyoming saw. You can put a little cooler in there with a couple bevies or, the lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, I'm trying to think of what else I run through there. I'm trying to think of some things that may not be related directly to the ATV. Sometimes I throw my camp stove in there as opposed to like packing it around, but it kind of depends on the day. I mean, that's kind of more of a whatever's planned for that day, we can pack it accordingly.
Yeah, and that was my next question, man, because this is a moose hunt, so it's like road versus trail. Like, what do you think the advantage is going to be? There's pros and cons to both of them, obviously, because you're dealing with moose, but you guys are also have an opportunity for deer and stuff there too, right? Is there any elk opportunity, or is that gone?
Yeah, there's elk.
Yeah,
I think the elk will be more. No. There's spots where we can hunt on one side of the management unit where the LEH is good for. We can hunt the moose, and then on the other, elk is still open.
That would be awesome. It'd be awesome if we could kind of hunt that split, right? Because then,
we can.
Depending on what we see that day, we can. Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, just like go through, because you guys, obviously we don't want to give away where you're going, but like the pros and cons. Let's go with moose for road versus trail, and what you guys are thinking.
I think with moose in that area, because you're hunting an LEH and there's only so many people, I think you just cover as much country as possible. And I think that's going to be, if you guys are good with it, Kelly, the strategy out the gate. And I'm glad you guys are bringing your ATVs because they could be anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Like it's not one, I mean, they move around so much. The one thing is that we know there's moose there, so it's just cover as much country as possible. And then, if we're not seeing them down low, then we can say when we come back together that night, we'll be like, okay, we're not seeing them down in the swamps and that. Maybe they're feeding up high.
Right. Yeah, I think that's...
Or whatever the case may be.
That makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, it's LEH, so you're right. The pressure should be relatively low compared to the other species, right? So
definitely.
It's not necessary. It's more about just covering ground.
And then from the elk perspective, I know we're getting later on, so it's post rut. So the last thing I'm going to do is go out and start wailing on the bugle, right? Like,
yeah,
I will bring reeds to cow talk if we do, because there's some of the areas there is elk in there. So you never know. Mm-hmm. Like you never know what'll happen. Like we mentioned earlier, what happened in the elk hunt when we went years ago. Like you just can't. You just got to be ready.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was any calling involved in that hunt at that specific moment,
wasn't.
Right?
It's just spot them. And then again, like you said, there's a scenario that it's a good thing we had spotting scope.
Yeah.
Binoculars. So it has to be 6-point or better.
Yep.
But mule deer too, you got mule deer, it's got to be 4 points. So you're counting points.
Yeah. Mule deer's still really high on my list. So I'm definitely going to have eyes open for muleys this whole trip. Or whitetail too, but I always find whitetail is just very difficult, but you never know what can happen out there. I really would like to get a good muley one of these years, but yeah, man, I mean, at the end of the day, a successful trip would be, to just have a good time from my perspective, but the other one would be just the moose because it's going to put the most amount of meat in the freezer. And then anything else from there is just a bonus.
Totally. If I could plan the whole thing out, I would love to get the moose right out of the gate and then go out where we can hunt mule deer and elk in the exact same spot. And I have a spot for that too. We can go.
Right.
Is it any bull for the moose, or what's the...
Yeah, it's any bull.
Oh, nice.
Anything with antlers.
And that's for the LEH. But there's also an open season for spike moose.
Right. Spike fork
moose, yeah. So, I mean, that's open as well as just a general moose tag.
Was it group or is it just a single one? Because group tags
it's
work
single.
different. Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys got to be with him, obviously, then, in that case.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how likely are they going to be to like hike 4K, see a moose, and
Well, there you go. So put another tick in the road column.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and really, how likely is anybody to really go 4 or 5K to pack a moose out? I know we would probably do it, but like as a sample of the whole population, there's probably few.
Man, when we went on that first northern trip and Mike's like, I want to shoot moose back here, I was like, oh God, no, please.
Like, please don't.
Yeah, but if we had seen one, Garrett, you'd probably be the first one to shoot.
And then I'd probably be like, oh shit. No.
We would have to pay those guys on the horses to help us.
Yeah.
Oh, I would happily pay those guys. Yeah. They're huge. They're massive animals.
Yeah.
And at that point in our trip, we were like, geez, in the teens kilometers back there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How many river crossings? I probably wouldn't even taken my boots off at that point to cross the river.
Yeah.
Said, fuck it.
Just huck the meat in the river and float it down there.
Yeah. Just sit on the corners and float it down the river.
Yeah. Well, a moose is one of the species. Like when I think of moose and like the journey we've been on to date, I kind of think back to Mike. Like as a species, I always link moose back to Mike. I don't know why, but I think it's
totally same.
It's just, I think the story of your dad and how he hunted in the caribou and there's moose up there. And like, I always kind of lean back to like, Mike should be on a moose hunt. But
I remember being a kid hanging out down at Mike's and when his dad got a moose, I remember opening up, he had one like those, I don't know what you call those, chest freezers. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And the thing was packed. Like you could barely get the lid shut. And the whole thing was just packed solid full of meat. And I mean, like, when you're bringing something home, I mean, the moose makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look how much meat you get out of it.
I mean, you know what's interesting, though, man, is a friend of ours got I think it was a spike fork bull. It was a young bull. But the amount of meat compared to that elk that we got, it didn't even compare, man. So when you're talking about moose, an elk could actually be a bigger job, you know what I mean? That thing was a fucking pig, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting that way too, because you might see something and be like, well, maybe this is actually manageable and we can pull this off. Or if it's a full grown bull, you might say, fuck that. There's no way we're going to pack this thing out, man. So
I wonder how caribou adds up to elk and moose. I wonder where they fit in. I've never shot one. I've never seen what I know nothing about it. I don't know if you guys do.
Do we look into this? I don't know. I feel like they're a little smaller than an elk.
So yeah, I think they are. It depends, but I don't know if I told this, but when I was doing that travel show, I was up in Old Crow, and you guys know me. I was like obsessed with caribou, and I really wanted to see caribou in the wild. The first one I saw was being dragged behind a snowmobile.
Oh man,
in the Yukon. And I was like, well, that's not really how I wanted to see my first caribou. But it actually wasn't, it was smaller than I had expected. And the cool thing was we actually saw some live ones later that evening when we were going to check out the Northern Lights. But yeah, they're not as big as I had expected, man. I mean, I'm sure they can get pretty big, but
like in between a deer and an elk kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what this one looked like for sure.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, at least you saw a dead one in the context of like the culture.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's cool. Because most people don't even get to see that.
Yeah. No, I feel lucky. And then I think I saw 5 like later that day. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's still something that would be really cool, is to do a caribou hunt, like a fly.
I mean, that's the one that I have always said that I want to do with your dad, Kelly's a fly in. And if you're in the right spot, I mean, I don't think you have to go too far. You know what I mean?
Like it's not a sheep hunt. You don't have to like kill yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Although caribou do live in some areas where there's sheep. So you could say, yeah, Dad, we're going caribou hunting.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're just over this next ridge.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
We're just going to put this spike camp up here.
Yeah. Oh, look at that full curl ram.
Yep.
This hunt's going to be like a win-win no matter what. Obviously, we talked about like family and all the food and, you know, having drinks late at night and stuff like that. But like, is there like a worst case scenario situation for you guys with this hunt? A situation you don't want to find yourself in? It could be weather. Let's say a moose goes down in a swamp or something. Like, have you thought about preparing for like a worst case scenario?
Totally. I've always I think shit can hit the fan at any time. Like you never prepared like someone could get cut or hurt or you get a flat tire or
you get catapulted by a tree.
Exactly. Anything. Yeah. All that stuff. So, I mean, you got to have your first aid. You got to make sure everybody's, I mean, you know, when we bring out the drinks, I mean, nobody's driving. We're sitting around camp. We're using our heads there and you just try to avoid careless mistakes, right? So, yeah, to the answer to your question, Mike, definitely. We're always being cautious. And even like where you're shooting the moose. But that's why they got me and Kelly there. So, sorry, Kelly.
I signed up for it.
Yeah.
But I think too.
It runs down a ravine.
Yeah. We've got DeLorme InReach. We've got, we're not, I don't know. I mean, we're going to be, our elevation is pretty high. I think we're above 3,000 feet. Garrett, do you know exactly what our elevation is there? Like camp wise?
No, but
I think it's over 3,000.
Yeah, I think we'll be into snow.
Yeah, exactly.
So in terms, if we do get something, I thought about, we're going to be good. We're right in the pocket for hanging meat. So we're
right. I'm thinking in terms of like driving and, snow and getting stuck and like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, that's the one thing that kind of sticks out for me with this one is just where we're at. And the weather lately has been really on the chilly side and we've had more moisture than like the entire year so far. So depending on how that goes, and I need to look at the weather here tonight, but that could be one thing. And it's not going to be warm. I know that much.
Rather than trucks, you're going out on ATVs, right?
I think it'll be a mix. Yeah. Because we've got what, 5 people. So, we could have a few guys on the ATVs and a couple guys in the trucks or on foot or whatever. So I think it's going to be a mix in any case. Maybe like, what do you think, Garrett? Like a couple groups kind of breaking off?
Yeah. And then we'll just always stay in radio contact. Yeah. And then, but actually, that's a good point. Out of anything that could happen, that's probably the highest percentage. Because I don't know if people are listening to us and they're not from BC, we have our logging roads here in our terrain. I mean, what they'll try to do is they put these cross stitches across them.
Yeah.
And obviously people from BC will know what I'm talking about, but the road kind of slants off with the contour of the land. And if it gets any snow on there, and you guys know this, like it can get pretty scary when you start sliding backwards and you're got her pinned. Because the problem is that you go over these cross stitches that they dig out to save the road so it doesn't wash out. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to slow down, and then you get out of it. And then sometimes it can be quite a rodeo getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need any of that happening.
Yeah. And the trick is like you get to these spots because you think the weather's fine and then it changes on you when you're there. So now and we were in that position with the elk hunt, right? Like I posted a video, you go way back in our Instagram. I'm like holding the day we went out on that hunt, it was like fine, no snow anywhere. And then you look at my video and I'm full blown blizzard. It looks like the middle of December and I'm on the top of I'm like, we were admittedly at like 7,000 feet elevation, which was, that was the top. But man, I could have just put my powder skis on and been, middle of February having the day of my life.
Yeah.
So, and then
even that road too going up, like we finally called. I think we all just said, this is good enough.
Yeah, because I remember we drove to about in this particular area, you could drive to about 4,000 feet, and then we hiked the rest of the way. And then by the time we got there, we got completely snowed in. And the whole time I'm thinking like, oh man, I hope my truck's not in this much snow right now, because this is going to be sketchy going back down. And I remember getting back to the truck, and it was just starting to put like a layer of snow on the road. And we got out of there just in time, and it wasn't slowing down.
Yeah.
So
that's probably the highest risk.
Yeah.
I think, dealing with going into this hunt.
I think so,
And I mean, that's where the ATV comes in handy, because you can take those fucking things anywhere in the snow, right? It's not
exactly.
so
you can winch.
sketchy.
Like we got winches on them, and I mean, you still got to be careful, but it's not like to the level of, I think, Garrett, what you're talking about, like with your truck sliding backwards and stuff. That's just,
that's not fun.
Yeah.
Man.
Actually, I had that same situation, Garrett, when we were on that hunt a couple of years. You had the moose tag in the other area a couple of years ago. I'm sure we talked about this on the podcast too, but I remember being up top, like we were kind of pretty high up to summit there, going around a couple of switchbacks, and it was just like pure ice on the one, and my truck just started sliding backwards. So it's not a good feeling.
That's the worst feeling. No, yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We turned around.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I do have the winters on. Switched them over.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, I'm doing mine tomorrow. So I'm ready to rock if I decide to come out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's hope you do.
Yeah, man. And like part of it is like, I just don't want to have a fucking pain in the ass dog around camp. You know what I mean?
Oh, we would all be accepting. I mean, it is what it is. It's all. Yeah.
We're all a pain in the ass around camp.
We're all a pain in the ass. I know. I get a text from Mike. Mike's like, "Are you bringing the hounds?" I was like, I wanted to say, God, no. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I said, this guy's good, but it's a handful, man. And like, if we're out hunting with him, he'll be great. But it's just like everything else, he's like wants to get it and everything. And
I mean, we would invite it with open arms, no problem.
He's good, but yeah, you know what I mean? It's just,
I mean, especially if we took him out and shot some grouse.
Yeah. I would love to see how he did in that situation. I think it'd be good.
And there's some good chicken roads up there.
Nice.
Not as good as what the best I've ever had is when we went on that elk hunt, man. I've never seen so many. Like, that was insane.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're already starting kind of pretty high up there, so it should be sweet spot for grouse.
That moose hunt we were on too was another one. We got a lot of grouse on that trip too.
Yeah, we did. I missed a lot of grouse on that trip. I was so frustrated that day. Oh man, I swear my 22 wasn't working, but Kyle was like knocking them off left, right, and center with the same gun. I'm like, what is happening here?
Speaking of that, Kelly, you gonna bring your 22?
Yeah, I'll bring it.
For sure. I'll bring mine. Mine's been it's on fire right now. It's already claimed 2 pack rats. So
nice.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to clean out the farm.
Yeah. For moose, have you guys discussed like a strategy? Because when we went up for our moose hunt a couple of years back, we had a lot of like strategy in mind, and we talked to Mike Hawkridge. That's another good episode that you guys should probably go back and listen to if you haven't already. So have you got some strategies in mind, or what are you guys thinking?
It's a good point.
Totally.
I'm going to download that. Sorry, Garrett. I was just going to say I'm going to download that podcast. Garrett, you should too, because there's some really good calls in there, and you can practice on your way in the truck.
Okay, good.
I mean, I feel like that's one of the most useful podcasts we ever did, really, with Mike.
Yeah,
he's
totally.
Yeah.
Sorry, Garrett.
I feel like no, all good. Because I was going to go into the calling because I wasn't really sure. I was kind of under the assumption that the rut's done, so I wanted to ask you guys how valid is calling after the rut? Do they? Because I know elk they'll still talk to each other, but they won't come out screaming. You know what I mean? That whole. What about moose though? I mean, you guys talk to Mike. What's your take on that? Do you still sit on a bog and call, or a swamp?
I think we don't recall to that podcast again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll listen to the podcast too.
Yeah.
Because I agree totally. Like, if you're not seeing anything, you might start calling. If it's the rut, then for sure.
You never know, man. You might call in a young bull that still wants to get his freak on.
Well, that's just it. Like, and if he answers back, it's a bull. So it's like, all right, we got one.
Yeah.
We got one. There's one in the area.
Download that one, man. And yeah, it was very thorough. was a good
I'm
one.
going to give that a listen on the way up.
Yeah.
Nice. Good call.
But have you guys mapped out like bogs and swamps and lakes and shit that you want to check out or?
Totally. Yeah. I've been hunting this area for a bit now. So I kind of know. And then me and Kelly were talking, like they're moose, they cover a lot of ground. And we've seen them in different spots too, but all the swamps, like you said, Mike, I have located and
nice.
I mean, we'll be cruising in and around those spots.
Episode 54.
Nice. Okay.
And I mean, so I was going to wrap things up by making you guys do your moose call.
I would, but James is literally right above me. And if I wake him up, my wife's going to literally kill me. But it's something like something like that. That's like super low volume. That's like 10 decibels.
You're not going to get anything with that.
You're not getting it. Remember when you guys put me on the spot up north and you're like, do a moose call?
Yeah, you were doing pretty good.
You were good.
I'm like, I had no idea. I'm like, I don't know how to fucking moose call. I had no idea.
What you can
Let's hear it, Garrett. Come on.
I can't even remember how to do it. I think it'd be like Kelly's, like
just bad.
Yeah, like here, I'll give it a go here. Hold on.
Yeah, it's along those lines. I mean, you just got to put a little more gusto in there. But yeah,
this is the problem. We have like kids who are trying.
Yeah,
and hounds.
Yeah, get them going.
We don't want to trigger anybody, but I think what we should do is download that episode 54. Did I say? And we'll. I would listen to that. There's that one section before we went up north and went on our moose hunt, Mike. I had that on. Kyle and I were listening to that the whole way up. And we just rewind it, practice, rewind it, practice.
I was doing the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't take long to get the tone perfect, and then at least you have a good baseline.
Yeah. What was he using? Was he using just his hands?
Yeah, just his hands. Just plug your nose and
just over his nose, yeah, and kind of cup your hands over your face like that. And
yeah. So, Mike,
let's hear it. Let's hear it, Mike.
Yeah, do you remember?
You gotta...
Not really. Well, it's like along the lines of what you guys are doing, man. It's hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
You might call in some ducks.
I mean, it sounds like a fucking Sasquatch call when you hear Mike do it, man. It's like a moaning.
Yeah.
And he starts getting crazy with it too. It's pretty it's interesting.
Is this the same guy that took Joe Rogan out? Is this nice?
Yeah.
Gary, I remember on the last hunt, your dad was calling in moose and he just said a bunch of ducks keep coming in. So next time I go duck hunting, I'm going to call them. Actually, that's something we need to do, by the way, not to go off subject here, but like, I think we really got to try this waterfowl hunting thing at some point.
We've been saying that for fucking 6 years.
It's been forever. But one day we're going to make it happen. Maybe we'll take your dog out, Mike.
Yeah.
No, let's bring the hounds.
Oh, yeah, we'll bring all three. Just send them out there and see what happens.
Holy crap.
Jesus, bring Norris out there. He'll get his ass kicked by a duck and I'll have to pay $10,000.
Oh, good stuff. Well, I know you guys, you're leaving tomorrow and it's late here. So I shouldn't keep you guys much longer. Anything else you guys want to add to this hunt before you go, man?
No, just glad we're going and bringing everything together. And Mike, hopefully you can make it out.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I haven't even been out once since the season opened. So I'm very excited to get a hunt in and to hang out and see some folks, which is even like more pronounced with all this, garbage pandemic stuff going on. So actually, it'd be nice to get some podcasts in too, and we'll see what we can do there.
Yeah, and one thing I was going to ask you, one, do you want the recorder to bring with you?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
And do you guys want any of we've got the 2 Yetis, or we got 3 here, but do you want any of those to bring with you?
Oh, fuck, I just bought one today.
Did you?
Ooh, good job, Garrett.
What'd you get?
The 75.
Oh, nice.
That's the one we had up north, right?
What do we have? We got a 105 and a 65, I think.
Yeah, because
what's the one we had with
we traded in the 210, which was ridiculous.
It was fucking huge. It was like a freezer.
Okay, because I was trying to remember which one we had. The one. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with the 75. It looks like a good size.
Yeah, no, I think that's right in between the two that we brought up north.
I was like, I was on the fence for so long, and then after we went up, I seen your guys's, and then went like all your pictures on social media, and then when I got to finally see it, I'm like, oh yeah, these things are unreal.
Yeah.
Mike,
it's time to get one.
I might take you up on that. I don't know. I'll chat with you after here.
Sure. Yeah, let me know which one you want, and I can swing by tomorrow before you go or whatever.
Okay.
Those things are awesome. Garrett, what color did you get?
I got the same colors when we had up north. Like it's kind of like
the tan, like
yeah.
I
figured it's gonna get dirty, hide the dirt. That way we don't have to wash it.
You don't want a white one, yeah. They just get sap and shit all over them, and
blood stains and
I feel like the white's more for like a fishing boat because you're in the sun all day, and it's just a good color for keeping it as cool as needed. But yeah, if you're in the woods, it can get dirty.
Yeah, totally.
Sweet. Well, yeah, let me know what you guys need. And if I don't see you, good luck. But you guys got the inReach, so keep in touch. And let me know how things are going up there. But good luck, boys. It's going to be a fun one.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Right on, Mike. Thanks.
Good seeing you guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
You too. Cheers.
There you go. Episode 138. Hopefully the guys are having a good time out there. I don't think I am going to make it in the end. I've got this pooch here. He's right next to me, destroying the house. So I think it's probably good that I hang out with him. And by the way, his name is Earl. And hopefully you'll see him pop up on our Instagram feed at some point. But thanks for listening, guys. If you don't mind, you can leave a rating and a review for us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast from. And we'll talk to you soon. Cheers, guys.